Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. K Mega 405. Woo, coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just your regular gamer, talking to the intelligent gamers out there. I'm back with another My Thoughts, and I have some things I want to discuss. I'm just don't know what I want to start at first. You know what? Because there's a lot of news that's dropping, so I can split it up, come back and do some stuff tomorrow as well. So that's what I'll do. And then also to let everybody know, GRG is this Friday, the monthly GRG. So come and check us out Friday night, 8 p.m. We'll not get out here and have long rants to where we have a ultra long GRG. So I told the crew to tell me to wrap it up. So I will wrap it up when I get in one of my rant modes. So anyway, but we'll still have fun, do what we do. So let's get started. All right. So there was something that just dropped that I seen a few hours ago. I will definitely get to the Randy Pitchford stuff that's dropping. I mean, bro, I don't even know. I don't even have an explanation of what is he doing. Anyway, I will touch on that here in a minute. But first, there's some stuff that's going out. You know, some of these, rumors, kind of not rumors, speculation, stuff like that. So there's a person on that I'm looking at on Twitter, and his name is Alan Freely. And so he posted this stuff about Xbox staff that's leaking Microsoft's demands, which we all kind of knew about the whole the AI situation. They're making a big push for it. All these tech companies are definitely doing it. It is crazy that the media is so much focused on just the AI aspect and the layoffs and jobs on Microsoft's end instead of the whole industry. I mean, because there's been stuff going on also with Ubisoft. They made a multi-million-dollar deal. It's million or billion. They made a huge deal with the Saudis, and there's demands on the AI aspect with that. And so there's voice actors that was from Lara Croft, other characters. I think the lady who played Lara Croft, she lost her job due to AI. It kind of was all blended from what I was reading from. I don't know if she's done work with Ubisoft herself, obviously, because that's what in the article it said. But anyway, I'll go and I'll read a little bit of that. But back to this stuff here with Microsoft. And so anyway, it says, this person posted, he says, Microsoft's leaked memo declares AI usage no longer optional, with performance reviews now tracking compliance. King developer confirmed 100% daily AI targets, 200 jobs gone after team built their own replacement. And so this person has a video out. If you want to check it out, it's from somebody, like I said, named Alan Freely. It's also in the back channels about the whole AI situation, but it's not just about Microsoft. It's tech-wide. Just for one more information that I get, I'll talk more about it. But I did mention this months ago about how dangerous this situation is, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's dangerous. It's scary. I mean, we can look at it from a perspective of, yes, it will help out on a lot of things, a lot of fronts. But it also is going to take people's jobs. And that's the thing to me where it's really worrying and troublesome, because if you look at the climate of where we're at with the economy and all that, there's a lot of people that's out of work. And if you keep implementing AI on everything, we've come to a time to where it's about efficiency more so than the production of the worker. And the worker now is looked like to be somebody that's in AI instead of than a human being. Which is nuts. Which I don't know how people can look at this and say it's positive other than the people that are making the money behind the scenes because they're saving money. Yeah, I don't know. It's real crazy. So anyway, um, yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just reading through, looking and skimming through or whatever. It's a pretty long read, but like I said, we'll have more information talking about that. I really want to hear what the crew got to talk about because this will be a topic for Friday. So once while, and I'll have a full bunch of a lot more information to want to dive into. So and then we can hear their thoughts. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. I want to get on here to talk about the Randy Pitchford thing, man. Okay, so when you think that he's done spewing what he spewed, and I made this point last week about the differences between what these companies are asking for and what gamers are expecting, and what is some of the results of what we're getting. Now, case in point, from my knowledge about Borderlands 4, it's running decently on it's running fine on consoles, but it's not running very well on PC. I do have Borderlands 4 on PC. I played a little bit of it, and I do understand about what the issues were. I know that I got a patch not too long ago, and I was just like, okay, maybe they might put another patch in, so I'll come back to it later. I've really been all in NBA 2K right now, really enjoying it. Playing the hell out of my team. Really been enjoying it. The movement, speed, all that. I felt like it's kind of like there was a patch and maybe the patch kind of slowed it down just a tad. But other than that, like the game still it's way more fluid than what 25 was. And then so now it comes to the understanding that I really wasn't the biggest fan of NBA 25. So because I really didn't play it. So but I'm really enjoying NBA 2K26. Been spending most of my time on that when I've had the time to game. This whole thing with coming out and having backlash towards the community that has paid the money for your game, and by trying to justify it by telling people that, well, it's your hardware. Well, you have the specs right there for people that's in that guideline for your hardware from the low end to the high end. And what people are expecting is that for the specs that you are looking for that you have on the game and what you're involving into the game, you would think that what they're expecting is that game at whatever level, whatever the specs are from the low end, that the game is going to still be playable. And when you're talking about the low end stuff, he's talking about frame generation and all that. That's on the newer cards. That's not on the older stuff. But you want people with older hardware to buy the game, and when they buy the game, they're expecting the game to at least be functional enough for them to enjoy. What's up with you, DJ Berto Doss? What's happening? And then after that, you know what I mean? Like it's more of a thing to where it's like, okay, these people are excited for the game. People are enjoying the game. For what I played, I enjoyed what with the character that I'm playing with is the tech. She's like a techie type of character. Like I said, I've only played about maybe an hour of it. So, I enjoyed what I played. I've seen the potential there, but I also seen the issues with the tearing. I mean, I have a 4080 and all that. And so, yeah, I did what I needed to do and put it on because I played it on Badass, and then I was looking at the frames, and then I put on frame generation. And because I always play all my games on 4K. I don't ever maybe a shooter or something I might put it in like 1440p or 1080p or something like that. But I play my shooters on my console. I play my racers mostly on console. There's only like 2 racers that I only play on PC. My sports games, I play them all on console. So, but for games like that, I'll play them on PC. You know what I mean? Because I know that I should get a much better performance than I would on a console because it is a much it's a higher end device than it is my console. What's happening with you, Stanley? Appreciate you guys coming through. If you don't mind, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Share us out. I know I'm live. I know it's kind of, I did it last minute, like within like that last hour that I was finna go live instead of normally doing it early enough, like way earlier, maybe the next day or whatever. But yeah, anyway, these expectations of where we are now in the gaming space is really wild to me because you're asking for more money. I mean, Randy Pitchford was just talking about before the game came out about how it is acceptable to charge more than more than $70 for the game. And then when his game drops, and yes, they've done a good job with the game in the sense of the stuff that they've added into the characters, stuff like that. The story, I've heard good things about the story, but it's the optimization. It is, and you're telling gamers, okay, so basically what you're telling gamers is that, okay, hold on, I got these specs set out for you for on the low end. And then when the game don't perform and then people are upset about it, you're saying, well, it's use frame generation, use this, use that. Well, what if these people don't have? Because I mean, that type of stuff isn't on the lower specs that they showed. That's on the middle higher end. And then so when you have that, and then people are like, "Whoa, hold up! This game can't even work right. I'm getting less than 30 frames per second." Of course, people are going to be upset. Like, because I mean, when you're talking about the PC community, you're talking about that's in their will. That's what they want. They want great performance. They're not like console gamers. See, I'm now understanding both sides of the spectrum since now I play on PC and on console. I still play on console more than I play on PC, but it's almost becoming pretty even. And so I get it now. I understand their point of views when it comes to performance. And so when the performance is not up to par, instead of coming out and saying, look, we'll fix this, they're giving an explanation about, look, we implementing, put the game into Unreal Engine 5. This is what we're doing. We apologize that it's not working on the level that we've anticipated. But we'll look and try to solve the problem. Even though that might be just a can of bullshit, at least you're talking to the customer. You're talking to a group of people that are out here that spent their hard-earned dollars on your product. They paid full price, most of us. I found a deal, so regardless, I didn't pay $70. I told you, I don't buy games for $70. I just don't. But for the majority of people who bought the game, they paid $70 for the game or more. And if it's not performing right, if it's having issues, just don't stand on business and tell gamers, get a refund. That's what the man said today. Like, he's been talking shit all week long about the game. Well, if you want the thing that tripped me out, which I knew that I was going to talk about this, is where he said, if you optimize a game, and then if you care so much about this, then you learn how to optimize a game yourself. What? How out of touch are you, bro? Like that. Listen, I understand it. Some people just don't know how to handle the public. Some people are just, and I know that he's a spokesman. He gets out there and he talks about his games. I mean, we seen him when he was presenting Borderlands 4, and which made me excited because, I really do like Borderlands, right? And so I'm like, okay. And so he has a presence to him to know how to talk to the public. I mean, he's done it enough. But to get to this point to where you're now acting aggressive toward the people that help pay your fucking bills is asinine. Or maybe you're in a status to where you feel that you can talk down to the public like that. And then today you double down, triple down, come out and say, if you don't like the game, but listen to his words, if you have a problem with a game, get a refund on Steam. He didn't say consoles. He said Steam. So this is a situation where all gamers, console and PC gamers, should be in unison and say, listen, you do not talk to any gamer in that type of fashion. You just do not do that. You're taking our hard-earned money and we put it into your product, and we, as customers, it's no different than anybody else anywhere else. Now, listen, I am not the type of person to go in and say, you go in there and you be hateful. I really can't stand people like that goes into a restaurant, and if something is not prepared right or whatever, they act like assholes about it. That person is just doing their job. They presented the food. It's not the chef's, it's not the waiter or waitress's fault. They're just bringing the food. It's most likely the chef's fault. But you don't want to be a dick and sit there and tell somebody and say and be disrespectful to the waiter or waitress and the chef, because they still got to prepare that food for you yet again. That's why, listen, if it's not good, I don't say shit. I just keep it pushing. You ain't spitting, you ain't putting a booger, you ain't doing none of that nasty shit on my food. Nope. If it's bad, then cool. I just ain't coming back. You know, I might give it a second chance if you know what I'm saying, I just, like, maybe it was a bad day, maybe I ate there before or something of that nature and I knew that it was good, but maybe just this time, just long day, whatever, just to miss it. We're human, right? But I've never been like that. I always had a problem with people being really disrespectful to people to that degree. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just explain, hey, look, this isn't, cool. Can you please do this? And then that's it. But when you get this entitlement reaction of like, oh yeah, no, you do this, then try to talk down on another person, I have a problem with that. So I am not cool with people talking down to Randy Pitchford or the devs at Borderlands that makes Borderlands and 2K just because. There's a way to sit here and say, look, man, the game's not working. Hey, is there any way that you can fix this and do it? But if you sit there and but you're on the opposite side, sit here and shit on the customers that are help spending and paying people's bills. I don't know. Maybe y'all got a deal at 2K and y'all get y'all's bag early. I know it works all different types of ways in development. But regardless, you still got to make another game at some point. And gamers do not forget. Big Man Mo said he shouldn't be a spokesman for shit. No, I mean, he always seemed like he had a really cool personality or whatever. I don't know. Like, it's like something hit. Like, I think, and it could, it could be one of these things like, it's his baby. He's, what I'm saying? Like, it's a successful franchise. It's, it's a good franchise. So I can get that you invested, you love this product. And so when people just rail on you, I can get it can be overwhelming. I get that. But you also got to understand, you got to weed out the bullshit and listen to the people that sits there and come to you respectfully and tell you, look, man, I paid this money for this game. I expect this game to run better. No disrespect, but I'm just expecting something better. You don't come out and say these type of things to your customers. I just don't understand that. Like, I'm like that is so bizarre to me. And then now he's saying about you don't like the game, get the refund. And another thing too is that he's gotten so many on Steam. He's gotten so many bad reviews. Is that it might mess with his bonus. It might mess with other people's bonus. Well, that's not the way to sit here and to fix it. Think about the contrast of differences between the developers at who made Helldivers 2 when they got all that negative press, and that wasn't really their fault. That was Sony's fault by cutting off hundreds of thousands, maybe a couple of million people because of Sony's policy of wanting to get that engagement. It wasn't the devs' fault. But they came at the public the right way. Like, man, look, could you please stop giving us the thumbs down? We're trying to make this a game that can be nominated. This helps out that this help us out tremendously. You know what I'm saying? For the way that the way that these game developers and publishers work these days, and not game developers, the game publishers work these days. If we don't hit a certain criteria, then we might not be able to make a Helldivers 3. And we know that you guys love this game. You're just upset at the moment of what Sony did. It ain't got nothing to do with us. We just got to comply because Sony is the people that paid for our game to be developed. They did it the right way. And then look at what's happening now with Helldivers 2. It went through its struggles. Now it's on Xbox and it's doing fantastic. It's doing, that's how you're supposed to do it. You don't do this. You know what I'm saying? So he said, yeah, Richard said, right, you said, yet EA will give us gold. I'm just saying, listen, I don't know what side you are on it, Raichi. I know sometimes you kind of go a different direction, but, and listen, all I'm trying to figure out is, that's why I asked the question on the poll on YouTube. Do you think that, you know what I'm saying? Do you feel Randy Pitchford pushback is out of line? And it's 50-50 right now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're just getting started with the string though, but it's 50-50 right now. And so I don't see how anybody can say no. Honestly, you don't sit here and tell people, well, you just be a developer yourself and know how to optimize. You go and you do code and all that. Listen, man, this is your job. This is your job. That's like somebody telling. That's like me telling somebody. Listen, and I've dealt with many of people that try to tell you how to do your job, and they don't have a CDL. They're just a regular, just D driver, as we call them, four-wheeler. You have no experience in doing this, and if you did, you wouldn't open your mouth. But again, there's people that will sit there and try to tell you something, and you just sit there and like, okay, cool, sure, whatever. But I'm not going to sit there and tell them, well, look, you can get it. I mean, I could, but what's the point? And it's different on my end. It's not like those people that's telling me something are the contractors that I'm working for. It's just some random person that didn't like, because I'm over here parked the truck somewhere and I'm helping, I'm doing where the contractor telling me where to be, and this person just feels inconvenience, and then they want to sit there and spew whatever. That's not the person that's helped paying for my bills. The contractor's fine with where I'm at. I'm doing what the contractor's asking me to do. So that person is just an outsider, has nothing to do with anything what's going on. So this is totally different. The people that have that's bought your product, that's believed in your product, have a little bit of humility. And like I said, it seems maybe to me that maybe he's sit there and got a lot of he read most of the hate stuff, because you know how people are on the net. People get really, really ignorant on the net, say some really dumb shit and take it way overboard. And it seems like he took that, or maybe it's just whatever the case may be. I don't know, but that's not how you do business. That's not good business. And so Tashawn said, so PC's trash. Nah, bro, it's not. No, if anything, that where you have a situation where a game is not optimized, right? Listen, I've seen I've seen many videos on people doing differences between, and I own all the Borderlands. Not only I got it on console and I got it on PC. I got them on PC as well. So I know the difference. Like, you playing Borderlands 3 on PC compared to console, bruh. What up with you, Dirt? What's happening, brother? What's happening? What's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. But when you have, I know the difference. When I'm playing Borderlands 3, like Borderlands 3 was really demanding on my Series X. It would cut it off sometimes. Now, some people would say that was a situation that was from the devs, maybe some optimization or whatever, or maybe it was the box. I have no idea. I know people's PlayStations too, but I can't speak personally for the PlayStation. I didn't play Borderlands 3 on my PlayStation. I played Borderlands 3 on my Xbox Series X and S. My S didn't cut off though. but I closely played it on my Series X. But there was times there was some demanding spots. It didn't cut off all the time, but there was times that it did. And I also had that same type of problem. Like, okay, so when I'm playing a game like Cyberpunk, I never had a problem with, and even though it was poorly optimized when it first came out, and buggy and all types of stuff, I never had a problem with the console cutting off on Cyberpunk. There was only two other games that had the problem where my Xbox Series X cut off. That was Crossfire X. There was this crazy heavy scene with a lot of stuff going on, and then Xbox was like, "Oh shit, I'm out," and cut off. It did it like 2 or 3 times, and then I finally got past that level, and I never had a problem with that. Another game it happened to. I'm trying to remember what other game that was. Anyway, and then there was Borderlands 3. So it's not like it happened all the time, but then when you got games that are graphically demanding as well, like I said, Cyberpunk or Red Dead Redemption, I never had no problems. Nothing didn't cut off. So there's some, I mean, it's nuts to me. Like I just think that when you're coming out here and trying to label something, and try to down. See, this is the part that I don't like the most for what Randy has said, and that is you're dissing, because this is what you should have done. If Randy Pitchford wants to tell people, basically, you need to buy newer hardware in order to play the game at a better, have a better experience. Well, you shouldn't have posted the low ends. See what I'm saying? So you posted the low end specs because you wanted that money, because you wanted to let those PC gamers feel like they were still included in the game. Now, since the cat's out the bag and it's not working right, and you got customers that's upset, like, listen, this is the specs that you posted. There should be no reason for this game not to work, or it should be working this poorly. Now, another case too that it's all on them. It's not on the gamers with low end PCs or whatever. I have been seeing tons of videos with people with 5090s, and the game is poorly optimized. Poorly optimized. Just like without putting out why would you with a 5090? We're talking about a $2,500 GPU. And you're still telling me that you can't, without frame generation or with DLSS, that game is running 30 frames per second, 40 frames per second, 50, and then you get big drops, and then you still got tearing and all that with a $2,500 graphics card. Nah, that ain't on the graphics card. That's on you and yours. Yeah, right. You're right. He says the way that Randy said, a premium product for a premium customer. All right. But so when the premium customer like, listen, I'm high end, but I ain't high end. I mean, 5090 is I suppose the highest end, right? Because I'm very ignorant about what's the high end for AMD. I know AMD don't have a card on the level of a 5090, but I know they got really high end cards. But still, a 5090 is a $2,500. At the least, you can find one for maybe $2,000. GPU, not computer, not your CPU and your GPU, not your motherboard, GPU and CPU. You're just one item, $2,000 to $2,500. And you're trying to tell me, well, it's a premium product. This is what you need in order for the game to work properly, and the game is still not working properly. Now we have a problem. Now there is a huge problem. And instead of coming out and saying, look, we will get this fixed. I know that they talked about a patch, but to come out and say, well, if you got a problem, get your refund from Steam. You've lost people. Good luck with your DLCs. Good luck with Borderlands 5. So now you're hoping and praying that the console market will still hold you afloat because you pissed off a lot of PC gamers with your attitude. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Console gamers, yeah, they'll buy the game, but they but if these console makers are trying to weed off or trying to tell people, because like if you listen to the community out there that's trying to tell people, oh well, we don't need to use backwards compatibility, we don't need to use old hardware, that's what's holding everything back. If these publishers believe in that, which I don't think that Xbox is, I don't think PlayStation will, I think PlayStation knows, starting to read the writing on the wall. Nintendo is even offering some backwards capability. So again, if they listen to what these people out here that's in the industry that are former people that's saying, look, you move on from the old stuff, all brand new. So when these new consoles come out and they're pricing out people because other people got other bills and stuff to pay, you're going to be looking at things real differently when Borderlands 5 come out. So you better hope that when the next Borderlands comes out, it's another decade from now, to where maybe people will forget. Ain't no way in hell, man. That's a level of entitlement that is unacceptable when you're begging for people to buy your product, because it's up to the people in order for you to still keep making this franchise work. It isn't just your go-to and your method. I mean, the 2K will sit here and say, yeah, we'll definitely work on another Borderlands. Definitely. I mean, it's a stable franchise. But if you lose faith, man, with the community, it ain't. And that's why I say it doesn't matter what platform you support, mobile, VR, whatever. If you got somebody that's talking like that, that's crazy. That's out of bounds. That's disrespectful. There's no reason for it. And you can't come out and try to tell people, well, man, I need to go ahead and I need to do this, I need to do that. You should have did. Well, then why is your specs like it is if people's hardware is not good enough for the game? You can't get mad. You put those specs out there. So I don't know. Let me read some of these comments. What up with you, Sir X-Man? He said, I'm having fun with Borderlands for my Xbox Series X. There's nothing wrong with that. What I played, I'm having fun because now I got the settings up to where I need to be, so I don't have no problem. I'm getting up to, I had it up to like 130 frames per second. And even when I put it on Badass, which that's the highest. Because there's high, medium, low, and then there's after high, it's Badass. I got it on Badass 4K. I'm still getting 80, 90. Now I'm using frame generation and I'm using DLSS balanced. And then I can put it on performance if I want to, but I kind of want, a little bit, but kind of want to put it on, and then I put it on quality and I get it down to about 60, 70 frames per second. But I mean, if I'm going to play it, and I don't know what the frame rate is on consoles. I know it ain't a stable 60 frames per second, but still, if it's playable, it is fine. It is. And also, that was another thing he was doing. He was talking about like how gamers can't tell the difference between like frame rate differences. Now, I've heard this before, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. As me playing on PC, playing on consoles, I definitely know differences, but I don't care too much about it. Like I've always stated, and I'm always gonna keep it real. If it's a single player game or a single player co-op game, if it's 30 frames per second, I'm not tripping as long as it's a stable. And that's the problem. The game is not a stable frames per second. It's just not. So you got to bump those frames up so high on your PC in order to make sure that it still has some kind of, that it feels fine, that it feels fluid. If you sit here and just you can't, and that's crazy. If you got a 5090, there is no reason that game cannot be played natively without any DLSS or any frame generation. It should be pumping out to where it going 200 frames per second. That's crazy. So yeah, that's an optimization issue by far. So if the consoles is And so maybe that's the best place to go get it from if that's if is on the consoles. What I'm wondering about, and see, I don't know this. I'm sure is Borderlands 4 on Nintendo, or is it on the Switch too? Please let me know in the chat. That I don't know. And how's that puppy working? So, right, you said every 3 months we are getting a crisis situation. Brother, it is getting more frequent. It is getting more frequent. Stanley said, I want to get Borderlands 4 on my Xbox Series S, but I keep hearing about the performance issues. I'm away for now, which is probably the smartest thing. I mean, because the more people because I've heard people from all different, like I said, I've been watching a ton of videos on this because I'm listening to random people. I'm not listening to people that I normally, at first when I was listening to the people that I listened to a couple of PC guys, just to make sure that I know that maybe it's me not knowing how to optimize properly. Not knowing how to have my settings right for the game. So I just kind of look and then I'm like, because it was tripping at first. I was like, what is all this tearing? What is this? Ew. And then I'm like, okay, well, turn it down to high. And it looked better and it played better. But I'm like, man, why is it still feeling sluggish? And so I had to turn on and look at my frame counter, my frames per second counter. And then looking and seeing if, and there was times where it was nuts because my CPU usage was going crazy when going into a different level. When you finally get into the open world part, man, it was loading stuff up. I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, okay, let's turn stuff down. And then so my CPU started acting right. And then I'm looking at the frames, and then I'm looking at and the frames is around 45, 60, like anywhere from 65 to 45. So that should tell you that like that's crazy. And at this point I'm playing it natively. Every game that I try out, I play native. I know I always try to act like I got something better than I do, which, but it's just me just wanting to see my capabilities of what my 4080 can do. And then sometimes my 4080 is cooking and saying, bro, man, turn that DLSS on, bro. Don't be playing. And so for that game, it's fine, and I ain't got no problem with it. But because that's the reason why I got a 4080 in the first place, and I might upgrade to a 4090. I'm going to just avoid probably the 4050s, the 50 series altogether, and just wait for the 60 series. I'm just kind of in a state of like, hold on. What is happening here? Why is it bouncing up and doing all this stuff? So, like I said, the longer I've been playing on PC, I've kind of knowing the difference of it. But I'm always going to be truthful about what I say. Keep my stance when it comes to co-op games and single player games. I don't mind if the game is 30 frames per second, but it has to be stable. I cannot do frames dropping from 30 to 20 or something, because you can definitely tell the difference. So for Randy Pitchford to come out and say, well, gamers don't know that. Yeah, if a gamer don't ever play on a PC, they might not know the difference. But if you play on if a PC gamer, if a console gamer plays on a PC, I give it a month, they will definitely know the difference. They can tell. Now, when you're talking about the difference between 4K, 1440p, 1080p, 720p, you can tell the difference definitely from like a 1080p to a 4K. Maybe you might not can find the difference from something that's from 1240p to a 4K. It's according just to what somebody's situation is. It's okay. It's case in point. Okay, so my wife had an older TV. And so I said I was going to buy a new 4K television, because I was just like, I want to have a new gaming TV, that's what was my Sony Bravia that I got. What is it, about like almost 8 years ago? Now, no, 10 years ago. God damn, that Bravia is old. My wife took that TV, by the way. It's in the bedroom. That's her TV now. Who would have thought, right? So anyway, so that was I had a Samsung 4K television. And that was my first true experience with 4K. But then I went ahead and I got that Sony Bravia, and I was telling my wife, like, look, there's a huge difference when you're watching television and what y'all doing watching that. You got a big 70-inch television in there, but it's 1080p. It's not even the same. And so she's like, I can't tell the difference. Lo and behold, within about a month or two, they started knowing the difference, because then it was like, you know what? I think we need to start looking at TVs for what? The front row? Are y'all serious? I thought y'all said there was no difference. So it's just over time, people will definitely know the difference between those the resolution. So it's just, at first, when somebody that isn't familiar with that probably won't, but they will eventually, the longer that they get to see stuff and the longer that their eyes adjust to the difference, especially when they go back. And so now my wife and them they can't go back. They can't go back. So yeah, they can't go back. So that's my fault. So anyone tried the handheld mode of the game bar on PC? Yes, I use the game bar quite a bit, because when I record gameplay, that's where I use. I use the game bar. But now, so I haven't used it. And see, I'm on I'm the Xbox. What's it called? Insider. I'm an Xbox Insider. So I got a hold of that stuff early. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Now, the one thing that gets me annoyed is when, and I got to turn off Steam. I got to back out of my Steam account, because it'll automatically turn on my Steam account. And so I'm like, no. I'm not trying to go to Steam and play games off my Steam. I gotta exit out of Steam, and then it works perfectly, and it's just seamless, man. I love the game bar. I love the game bar. Because and also it doesn't take as many resources it doesn't take as much storage when I'm recording games off of the game bar. When I'm using NVIDIA, or if I'm using another software, it takes so much. Like, I mean, I can sit there and take an hour or two of gameplay, and I'm with the NVIDIA app, and I'm just like, God, it's taking what, 60 gigs of space, while with going through game thing, it's only like 10.6. So it's a big difference. Even though I know also it might take full 4K. While really, when I show a lot of my feeds, I show a lot of just 1080p. There's some things that I'll show that even though there was some gameplay footage that I've showed of games in 4K, I don't really get a lot of views on them. But 1080p, I get a lot of views. So which means it tells me that there's still a lot of people that don't have 4K monitors. And so it really doesn't matter. So that's why once I start, I'll do it every once in a while I'm recording gameplay or something, or if I'm going through a walkthrough or a playthrough or whatever, and I'll post it in 4K. And if I get more views from it, then I'll start doing more games in 4K. But more people still cool with the 1080p, so it's all good. You said they have a simple field handheld mode. Oh, that's really cool. See, now again, I'm not into handheld stuff. So when Sir X Man said 75% of my friends are playing Borderlands 4 on my friends list, bro, I know the game is sold well. So I'm not trying to say that the game is chopped liver. I'm saying is that you can't come up here and have this superiority complex because you don't like what you came and you introduced to the gamers. You posted something there, and it's no different. See, remember when a lot of Xbox gamers would call themselves looked at as second class to the PC community? Well, the PC community is looking like a second class citizen compared to the console community, because you get a product, and even though there's a, like in Borderlands 3, there was a mode that you can change to filter something. They took that out, but they can do more things. It's more restrictive on console, which is fine. You know, I'm not trying to tell anybody not to buy the game or not to support it. What I'm upset about is that you can't come out and you can't have this type of attitude because you came out and said this game is going to perform on this level, and when it's not, and the community is coming out and telling you, look, you need to fix this game, you need to do better than come out here and telling us that this game is this way and that way. That's unacceptable. That's what I'm talking about. That's the part that I feel that Randy Pitchford is out of bounds for. Not because of the game. The game is fine. I don't care where you play the game at. But again, we'll see. Let me see. On PC, you can easily play at 40 to 50 frames per second. You can't hit 60. No, I hit 60. I'm like I said, I got it. But I mean, of course, I'm using frame generation and also DLSS, and I got it on balanced, and I'm hitting over 130 frames per second. So I'm fine on that aspect of it. And I have it on, and when I want to put it, when I have it on badass, and that's where I last played it, I was still at 70 to 90. So I'm cool with that. I don't have to have 200 frames per second. It gets too wiry for me for that. So, because I don't play with a mouse and keyboard. I play with a controller. So I'm cool with 78. I mean, that's Black Myth Wukong. I was hitting 70 to 90 frames per second. I was having a blast. So I am kind of interested how it plays on Xbox. But I mean, I want the achievements for Black Myth Wukong. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get it, and I think that it is I think it's bad. I don't know. Is it a anywhere title? So if it's not, then I'll buy it off the Xbox PC. So, because I'm still gonna play it on PC because that's the better experience for it. But anyway, so I'm not sure. I don't, as long as because this is my mindset for my PC. I'm not here to expect to get because I got a 4K monitor and all that, right? I don't expect every game that I play to hit to hit 100, 160 frames per second or whatever, 169, whatever my TV hertz is or whatever. I ain't expecting every game to hit that. If I can hit the levels of 70 or higher, as long as it's over 60, I'm cool. And where I don't have to hit 1440p, or I don't gotta hit, I don't have to go down to 1080p. I can play the game in 4K and do that. I'm cool with that. Some people aren't, and I'm not like a crazy PC madman like that to care about. I need the biggest, the largest amount of frames that I can get. I just want it to be more than what my consoles can give me. So that's my thing. That's where my money's worth. And then if, you know what I'm saying, because this is why I've always said, and like I said, that's only for, well, that's not really on, because if I'm playing on my PC, I want it to be giving me more frames than anything. Now, there's some games that are locked at 60, like some older games or some lesser known titles out there, some niche titles. Like you'll get that from some, like maybe some fighters or some things like that. That will lock you at 60 just because of, the differences of PCs and things of that nature. So I get that. That's why I say I play mostly my fighting games and my shooters and my racers at 60. On console and sports games, because it's locked at 60, and I'm fine with that. So anyway, it's just a difference of just, I just don't like giving this type of attitude to the gamers. It doesn't make sense. So X-Man said, I've said it before, stop charging high prices for broken games. Absolutely. That's another factor. That just doesn't make any sense to me. This game is not optimized properly, but yet you still want premium dollars, but you're not giving us a premium now, the game itself is premium. The game, the stuff that you're bringing into the table of the game is premium. But when you don't have everything up to par, and I'm not talking about missing storyline, stuff like that. But if there is any instances where it comes to performance, or if you got a lot of bugs, all that's not a premium product. That is a product that is not done. And that's what I said there. And I posted that when I was last week in a short, and there was, and most people, agreed with me, but there was one person was like, well, that's why you have the day one patch. Ha ha ha. No. The day one patch that is going to turn to another patch, because the day one patch didn't fix everything and maybe even broke other stuff. Ha ha ha. That I'm like, what are you talking about? A lot of people are sick of that type of stuff. If you need to wait a little longer to make the game run and perform well, it's fine. Case in point, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was a wonderful thing that they delayed the game to February, March, whenever that game came out, and it was March or April when that game came out. And so anyway, when it ran like a dream, ran fantastic, played amazing. That's all we asked for. And then here's another thing that I've also brought up last week that just kind of sets this all up before I move on to something else. You look at something like Hollow, what is it? The Hollow Silk Song game, Hollow Knight. And then you look at this, Borderlands 4. You don't hear anybody complaining about Hollow Knight at all. There's two factors to that. One, the game, the developers took their time. The game came out. There was no issues, bugs, game, and then the price. And somebody was like, well, look at the difference between the games, the level of the level and scope of the game. I get all that. That's fine. But look at the difference. These guys that made it Hollow Knight is giving you a much better product and it's cheaper. Now, when we're talking about content, no, it doesn't have the same type of content as Borderlands 4. And you also have an online factor to it with the co-op. I get all that, right? So I'm not saying the game, I said that Borderlands 4 should be $20. I'm just saying, you're charging us $70. You came out in public and said that the games that you're making should be even more than $70. So just think about if you went ahead and people in the industry, I mean, people in the gamers was all in on wanting to pay $80, $90 for a standard game, and then for the deluxe and for the shut up edition, the legendaries editions, you're paying up to $150. And then this happens. This is the type of stuff that we're talking about. That's the type of stuff that gets on gamers' nerves, and then you lose trust within the gaming community because now you're not only you're asking us for more money, but then you're now doubling down and being a jerk about it. Well, go do this yourself. Well, unfortunately, a lot of people can't go out there and go to school to try to know how to optimize a game because AI is going to start taking over people's jobs. I mean, what are we doing? Like that to me, that's a sad case of entitlement. And I don't like that. I really don't. Sapo, what's happening? He said the issue is people don't want to use DLSS. It was wrong for Gears. It was wrong for Gearbox to depend on DLSS as an option to optimizing the game. And that I've heard that too. And see, this is a thing too, is that's where it comes back to the point of you're showing the lower specs of the game supposed to play on these lower specs. And some of those specs of those games that they're the specs that they showed at the lowest, I don't think they have DLSS. So, I mean, what are those games supposed to do? And then you come back and you says, well, it's all into the hardware, and so you need to upgrade your hardware. No, you should have already let people know from the get that you need this type of hardware in order for this game to work at its best. You know, you need to have one of the higher end cards going from, I guess, from what, the 2070, 2060, 2070 on up. Like, but that they have specs that's lower than that. So that's, to me, is where the problem lies, right? Like, I mean, that you want to maximize your dollars by taking as much money as you possibly can by putting up those specs, but then you come back later. That, to me, is not a good look. It's not a good look at all. What up with you, Mike Johnson? What's happening with you? With a couple of RPs. Okay, that was sit down. Was like that. You said, I think it's going to go to the Switch 2. I no, Husky, I think it will go to the Switch 2, but I'm just saying, I didn't know if it dropped on the Switch 2 already or not. That's what I'm saying, because I think we would have seen things about it. So again, I'm intrigued to see how that game will run on the Switch 2. I am intrigued. I am intrigued because we're talking about Xbox One X, PlayStation 4 capability, right? So I don't know. We'll see. You said none of your Sir X-Man said none of his friends is playing Borderlands 4 on PC. I got it on PC, sucker. So I'll be playing. I played it on. I played it, but I've been playing mostly 2K here lately. But once I jump back on Borderlands 4, that's where you'll see me on, because I got a deal. Sapo, a 5090 with raw performance couldn't. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, there's tons of videos of people playing on a 5090, and see that's right there. So like, if let's just say that he had a case, right? If Borderlands ran fantastic on the 4090 and up, right? Let's not talk about my 4080, right? Let's just talk about 4090 and up. Then we're like, damn, well, all right. Then, and then that's when I would be looking at, well, okay, well, maybe I need to upgrade. Well, I'm not upgrading nothing right now, because I posted my truck transmission went out last week. And so I took it to the shop Monday. And yeah, they told me how much that both. He did give me a compliment, though. He did say I took care of my truck very well to me to get to as many miles as I got on my truck, which I got like 174, like basically just rounding off 175,000 miles on my truck. And so I'm, and this is my first time going through a transmission, but bro, let me tell you, it ain't cheap. Jesus Christ, it ain't cheap. It hit them pockets. It hit my game budget. I tell you that. My fun game budget is cooked. It's cooked. So Game Pass, EA, Ubisoft Plus, Humble Bumble. We riding deep. We riding deep. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Battlefield in Call of Duty is all I got. Is all I got. That's it. Because after me getting Borderlands, I said I was gonna slow down. And you know what I'm saying? There was other games I was looking at like, oh nope, that budget is cut, Jack. Good God Almighty, man! Transmissions are insanely expensive. Man, it's car prices. Jesus. Anyway, so Stanley Francis said, our friend Kosis said, I hate day one patches. They are always trying to sell us games that need patches for full price, and that's what it. I mean, I get that they, but that's that rushing thing. I just don't like them rushing the game like that. I just don't. It really is upsetting. It really does upset me a lot. Anyway, I just it's really sad. Let's see. Sapo, I'm avoiding it. It can't run on my PC a 3080. That's a huge red flag for me, and that's crazy because this is what's nuts, right? See, I mean, I skipped the 30 series, but the 30s, what was it? The 3070 Ti and up are god tier for the longest time. The god tier standard for GPUs, and I know that there was an AMD because homeboy, he's an AMD fan. Well, I can't think of my brother's name right now. My bad, brother. But anyway, he's a huge AMD fan, and so I know what the high end is because he was talking me into getting because once I sit there and I gifted my PC. I sit there and I was like, okay, I'm finna go and I'm finna get me, and he was talking me to get an AMD and I was looking at it, but then I was just kind of looking at the specs and I was going through listening to all types of tech guys. And I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to future proof this PC. So, but yeah, that the 3080 it's still a monster. And it's like, there's certain games out there that's really pushing the 3080. I mean, you are looking at what? Two full generations. Well, a full generation, and now we're in a part of another generation of where people are behind. But that still shouldn't matter, especially if gamers just want a good product to run well. And that's the beauty of what PC is supposed to be, right? So it's almost like I said, they keep pricing people out. Like, I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah, and so Ocular fan said he has a Ocular fan says he has uh, a stellar fan. Did I say it finally? Did I finally say it right? A stellar fan? Did I finally say it right? A stellar. See, that's why I keep calling you Ocular, because it's too difficult to say for me because I'm country. He says, I have a 4070 Ti Super. See, and that's unacceptable as well, because the 4070 is supposed to be a much more higher card than the 3080, but it's not that far off. Matter of fact, I've seen videos where the 3080 was close on the neck in a few games. The 3080 beat the 4070 Ti. Not that many, but a few. And so, I mean, like, it's nuts. And that also shows, like I said, how the 3080 is a monster. And that's crazy. It's crazy that games aren't performing well on a 3080 or on a 4070 Ti to that degree. It's unacceptable. The money that they ask for all these products is asinine for you to sit there and to come and tell people we'll just get a refund. Okay. So, he said not even close. Australia fan, whatever fan. Okay, whatever. All right, I'll try. I'm trying as hard as I can to get that name right. Okay. When you pop on GRG, Husky and them will correct me. We'll finally get it together. All right. This is why I don't mess around that much with PC. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like I said, like being comfortable with just being a console only gamer it's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, listen, like I said, I go back to it. I mean, once I get done with this, I have a taste for Frosted Flakes. I haven't eaten Frosted Flakes in a very long time, so I'm finna give me a bowl of Frosted Flakes. I'm gonna turn on NBA 2K and keep working on my team. I got me a good set. I got my first diamond. I got my first diamond character last night, or I should say this morning. I'm excited. I'm ready to get to it. I got me two diamonds because I just got Trae Young. So I got Trae Young, and then I got I gotta take some of these players to the exchange because I got a lot of high end point guards. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Let's move on. All right. Let's talk. Okay, so I want to talk about this right fast, and that's the SSX Successor. Let me go here and get to this. This broke my damn heart. See, this type of stuff is what hurt my feelings about gaming, man. This is what hurts my soul about gaming. Let me go to it. Where you at? I had you. Okay, here we go, right here. All right, so this is from My Nintendo News, and it says a spiritual successor to SSX, and I didn't even know this. Now, I did hear that EA is going to be bringing back EA Big, right? So that was the first thing that I'm thinking about is a new SSX, a new NBA, a new NBA game. God, please give us a remastered version of Def Jam Vendetta and Fight for New York. I mean, that's, if you want to make money, do that, please. And just so many. There was a motorcycle game from EA Big. There was so many titles. I mean, they didn't miss. I do not recall them making anything bad. My least favorite game from them was the motorcycle game. Was a motorcycle game, and that still was fun. So it was a motorcycle, like an off-road game, still fun. Anyway, so it said the spiritual successor to SSX that was to be published by 2K Games was canned. So that threw me off because I'm thinking like, what? So EA's up to their bullshit again, and then come to find out that 2K had the publishing rights to it. So okay, so here we go. It says, so a recent report on a huge number of layoffs recently in the video game industry has revealed that a spiritual successor to the much loved SSX franchise was in the works, but has since been canned. The spiritual successor was in development by Steve. I'm not going to try to say his last name. A lot of words, and it's foreign. Let me be country. And Larry Lapierre. I got that one right. Best known as the creator of the SSX series at their new studio, Supernatural, which I did not know that. So they kept the rights to the SSX, which was smart. And then they went to 2K Games. They went there, and I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm reading this, and I'm like, come on, what's happening with here? And so anyway, and so it was set to be published by 2K Games. The team was looking to make the game an arcadey, amazing feeling, very accessible, competitive, and fun game. It was codenamed Project Gravity by the team and was planned to be a live service, free-to-play title. Now, here we go. This is what I think that maybe got it canned. Anyway, sadly, the SSX successor will now never see the light of day. And so that's unfortunate. Well, yeah, they're focused on GTA 6, but I mean, they're a big, huge. Well, no, you can see, Sir X-Man, I know that you got a 3060 Ti and you can run games fine, but there's a lot of demanding games out there. There's games out there that if they're not optimized right, it's torture. Like, I got Alan Wake on my PC. Man, that game is a monster to play. It is so demanding. Beautiful game, but so demanding. So I was waiting for a patch. And I mean, there's patches I need to re-download. I uninstalled it because it was like, yo, no. It was bad. It was bad when I first was launching it. That's why you didn't see that much. You seen one little clip of my gameplay of it because I was saying, but it was running so bad, so I had to stop it. But anyway, they could. I mean, they bring out more things, but this is the problem. 2K, and I guarantee you, and I don't know this for certain, but something tells me where the problem was is when they said that they were wanting to do a live service free-to-play title. And the way that 2K works, the monetization would have been absolutely insane. So to me, it would have been like, hold on. Instead of you want to do a live, saying it's fine to make a live service game, but we want this to be a title that's going to be $50 to $70, and we will add all the monetization to it like we do to a lot of our other games. And I think that the devs in them may have had an issue. Now, this is me speculating, but this right there, when it said free to play title, I don't see 2K Games don't play games like I know I'm sure that they got some free to play titles. I mean, 2K got tons of games, but the monetization for a free to play title would cause a lot, and I mean a lot of problems, because you got people that talk so much shit about the I mean, 2K's monetization on NBA 2K is nuts. I just have the mindset now to just not to get put in the trap. Now, have I bought me some VC? Yes, I have, but I haven't bought any nowhere near the VC that I did in 24, and I won't. I will not do nothing like that again. That's ridiculous. So because I got the game gifted for me for my birthday from my mother-in-law. So, and it's just the regular version. So. And so I'm like, okay, I need to add a little VC to it. Well, I had the season pass, so I just got the regular one, because I had to get that Shay. I had to do that. You know what? That's what I'm talking about. Champions, baby. Let's go. Champions. Anyway. So I was like, it ain't gonna hurt to get a little VC. And then I got the season pass. So I'm like, okay, cool. I might give me a little bit more VC, but I'm not getting no 200. I'm not paying $50. I'm not doing none of that craziness. I'm just gonna get maybe about, I don't know. I'll figure that out, but that's it. And because I'm gonna eventually work on my player, and then I'm finna start going to the park. I'm finna start going to the rec, start doing that. But right now, like I said, I want to build up my team, and I like the way that that's structured, because I could just play. I could play against. I could play multiplayer, or I could play single player and build up. Just grind. And the grinding doesn't seem overwhelming or kind of chummy like it did. Like Madden's Ultimate Team seems way too grindy. I didn't like I don't like Madden's Ultimate Team. I like Madden this year as well, but I do not like the Ultimate Team. My team on 2K is a lot more satisfying. So anyway, he said Alan Wake 2 was what I used to test out my pro. Thank God I couldn't find the receipt. That shit would have been gone overnight, bro. Man, that game is a monster. Alan Wake 2 is a monster. I'm like, man, I'm trying to. It took forever for me to get to the proper settings just to get 50 frames per second, and I'm like, I'm not doing this because it made me feel some kind of way. Like, nah, man, no. So I uninstalled it. I was like, I'll wait for a patch. So I'll probably reinstall it again and see where we at now because I know they patched it up. I know the game is on. So I seen the game as low as like what, $20. $15. I think it was $20 on Xbox, but I mean, I got it on PC already. I just need to just go ahead and just let the patch do its work. And so hopefully it's better optimized. Anyway, some more talking about the graphics card. He said, right, he says I can run everything I want on my 1070 Ti. Only crash ID Tech engine from ZeniMax Microsoft I can't run because of the race scamming required. Okay, see, yeah, now that's old car stuff. Now, is that the like considered to be the best of the like that was a legendary card. I think I think that's the card that was supposed to be like one of the most legendary GPUs ever made. Like I think that might be the one. And at that time that was a beast. That was the beast of beasts. So I don't know. He says this patch will wait 4 years and upgrade your GPU. That's probably what's going to happen. I'll just I mean I might. Alan Wake 2 is definitely in the backlog. I will go to it, and when that game is running the way I want to, that's when I'll go back and I'll play it. I will go re-download it, but I got some games I want to beat first, and then then I'll come back to it, but just have a little space ready for it. But yeah, if it ain't optimized right like that, I'll be damned. I'm not playing that game like that. The 1080 Ti is that's it. That's the one. The 1080 Ti is not the 1070. The 1080 Ti. That's supposed to be the goats of goats, right? And that lasted for a minute. I heard that's when I first started really paying attention about. I'm like, man, is this 1080? Man, maybe I may want to get into PC. That was because I heard it so many times, and remember, everybody, especially all the PlayStation guys, said that they had a 1080 Ti. So I don't know. Anyway, so whatever. So yeah, I used to hear so much about that card, so that's what got me interested into the gaming PC space in the first place. So anyway, but yeah, this is unfortunate. I do think that SSX, the issue there is definitely the live service situation, the free to play. But that sucks. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I would hope that I don't know, man. Maybe could they go back to EA and see if they can work out a deal? I don't know. They're in a rock and a hard place. If anything, if I was them, if I was that studio, because what's the name of their new studio that they made? Thought I just read it. Supernatural. If I was Supernatural, I would do a GoFundMe. I would do one of those. I would just go out there and do one of those GoFundMe projects to see if you can go ahead and get enough. That you can set what you need, and I think that they can achieve it. I think that they can get close to their goal. Because I mean, that's it. See, that's, if anything, and this will be a topic for GRG, but I do want to, this is something I got to ask the panel. Like, why is it that there's so many of these publishers that are so afraid of these old classic games? I can imagine one reason is because if gamers got back to learning how to grind without all the microtransactions, Microtransactions could get cooked. Now, see, again, I say that, but people don't have a lot of time on their hands. So you can still do the microtransactions to where you can, get your stuff a lot quicker, and you can still keep playing the game. You can still make it optional. But I do fear that the era of games to where you can grind like you could on SSX, like what you could on fighting games. Fighting games was real good on the grind. Like you grind, get all the stuff you need, every character. You got to go through the arcade or go through the story mode or whatever the case may be. And just grind and get all the characters, get all the special boards, all that for your favorite character, and just do that. But see, now it's like you got to have monetization in order for you to sit there and to get more money, even if you are grinding. So it's really a sad situation. It really is. It really is. It really is. All right, let's move on. Okay, so Nintendo key cards. All right, this blows my mind here. This blows my mind. Where was that at? Where is that at? Okay, here we go. All right, this is from Nintendo Life. I've been talking about Nintendo quite a bit, and it's not really always the greatest of news, which I don't want to talk bad about Nintendo. I like Nintendo, but Nintendo would be bullshitting. So anyway, okay, so Nintendo is acting to protect the industry with Switch 2 key cards, says Capcom composer. Right. He says, remember in the old Smash games, out of nowhere, we would get that new chop, man, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. You can bring the grind back and still keep monetization. See, this is where, and I'm gonna get to this Nintendo thing. I'm sorry, but this is where it kind of first started getting bad, and it was from one of my favorite fighters ever, and that is Capcom Cross Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and grind out, play it. Normally, you would get all your characters. Well, they locked those characters behind a paywall. That caused an uproar, and that was probably one of the demises because it spread out through the internet. People were like, "Nah, bro, this ain't it. We don't like this." And then other games started implementing this. I can't tell you what was the first game to implement that, but to implement that type of locking characters behind a paywall. But from my perspective, from where I was, it was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and bro, that pissed off a lot of gamers. And I don't understand, man. Like that used to be the most enjoyable time for me, was to sit here and just like, okay, what new character is next? Because you didn't know. They didn't tell you what new character was next. Now, the way that the climate is, people get on the internet and they know how to go into get leaked files and show that. I would ignore that stuff because that was the most exciting time because you just didn't know who you was going to get. Now, in Tekken 3, I was not excited to see Gong. But I mean, still, I'm like, who was this little dinosaur? And then come to find out it was the worst cheat in any fighting game in history, in my opinion. But but still, it's like that sense of excitement, and it kept you coming back to play the game. That is the parts about gaming that made the old era of gaming that still, if you would give that same type of vibe, you could still bring that to gamers, but then bring your DLC later. Like, because gamers do enjoy, I do enjoy the DLC for you want to bring a whole new season of characters, like how Killer Instinct started that, and now you see all these other fighters and stuff like that, and DLC and new story modes. I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. But if there's other stuff that you can grind on, that you can get, that is special for the person who loves those games, and they can find that type of stuff, why not bring that stuff back? And why gotta hold that and hide that behind a damn paywall? Why does it have to be monetized? And I don't want to hear the excuse about the development costs, because hell, y'all are getting pushed out for AI. So so what, development costs for for a computer cloud thing? Are you kidding me? So I don't want to keep hearing this about it's the costs of development. Y'all are cutting back. Y'all ain't got to pay these. Y'all not paying all these people that y'all laid off. Y'all not paying these people. So you're going into and you're being efficient, which I don't condone, but I'm just saying, I don't want to hear these excuses about development costs. So I don't know. I think that if that type of stuff should come back. And so like with SSX and other games like that, like just to go through and get these other characters, you didn't know who they were, and then you just got that stuff should still be implemented in all different types of games. I shouldn't have to play a game for 200 hours like this as you see me playing Lost Odyssey to get to get satisfaction. You know what I mean? Like I want to get that from all types of games. The horrible feeling when you have friends home and you start playing games, then they look down on you because you don't have all the DLC characters or the latest sports game. That part, see, now I don't like that. I have never, well, see, I always keep up with, for the most part, for the fight, especially the fighters I normally play, I always normally keep up with my with my DLC character or my season. And with sports games, if it's the sports games that I play, I always get them every year. So I've never had that issue, but I never look down on it because I mean I know I have homies that sit here and will still play the hell out of like they were upset about 2K. And so they didn't buy 2K 24 or 25. And they were skeptical about 26, but I told them that 26 was pretty damn good. So they should check it out. And I showed them a few clips of me playing. And so I'm like, hey, and I'll send a couple of videos to some people to let them look and see what they think about it from their perspective. And so anyway, I don't know if they picked it up yet or if they're going to pick it up or nothing like that. But I mean, I've gone over to homie's house and played older versions of Madden or older versions of 2K or older versions of hell. I had one friend, and now they moved, but I had one friend. This was years ago. They still had a Dreamcast, and I still had to play 2K on Dreamcast. I ain't looking down. I'm like, the only thing I say is, man, at least get an Xbox One or a PlayStation 3 or something. And they would laugh like, nah, bro, I don't play games like that. I only play when you come around. All right, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. I ain't never looking down on it. Man, stop it. Stop it. I remember I was getting a phone for my daughter. I took her to a phone store, and I was getting a phone. So I'm sitting here in a long line, and so I had a call, and so I talked on the phone, whatever, and then some dude said, "Bro, you still got a flip phone?" I'm like, "Yeah, this was years ago. This was my daughter was what, 13, something like that. Like she's 25 now, so." Is she 25 or 26? Oh, she's 26. Damn, I'm old. Anyway, she's 26 now. Anyway, so she was like 13, 14. And so anyway, I sit there and I was like, I still have my flip phone. Well, no, she was 13. And so, I was at the store and the dude said, "You still got a flip phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so the people in there was like, "Man, do you know how outdated your phone is?" And here comes the goddamn salesman around the corner. There was like 4 salesmen there. The other one saw it and saw this commotion where people not jumping on me, but talking about my flip phone, my little burgundy flip phone. I love my flip phone. My flip phone was convenient. It was small, fit in my pocket. Boom, flip that motherfucker, sit there and be talking, get through it, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping. And so this dude, now I'm getting a phone for my daughter, but I got pressured because men and women, kids, bro. I had kids on my ass about me having a flip phone. I gotta bring that story up to my daughter, see if she remembered that. That shit was wild. I could not believe it. I'm getting a phone for my daughter. I'm trying to keep my daughter looking tight. I ain't tripping about it. My flip phone's fine, but they talked my ass. So I walked out of there with 2 phones. That don't make no damn sense. And see, so right there. So that right there is I feel what you're talking about. Right, G. That's garbage. Why should anybody downplay anybody? If you still playing games, you still playing games. That's just no different than when people get crazy and they start talking bad about people who just want to play on their cell phones. They're not gamers. Yeah, they are. They're gamers. They're playing games. And they're pretty good at them too. I see my wife and my mother-in-law, and you know, like that's all my daughter. They get on. That's all they do. I'm like, well, come let's play on it. I'm like, okay, I got a console right here in the front room so y'all can play. That's different. I gotta turn off the TV and I'm. Come on, man. You could turn on Little Man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You could turn on Little Man. You could play some games. I mean, you're playing this game, and I'm sure that game is on Xbox. I'm fine. Okay. So Little Man just sits in the front room just begging for somebody to play. So, hell, the 360 gets more burned because of Lips. That's what I was doing Sunday. That's why I didn't have fight night. I had company over and we playing Lips all damn night. But I love me some Lips. Anytime I got time for some Lips, I'm going. And I got, what I got beat on a game, on a song, California Love. I've held that. Ain't nobody beat me in California Love. I was in the top 10, top 5. No, not top 5, top 10 in the world on Lips with California Love. And my homeboy's wife took me out. Now the game was tripping. And my wife and my kids and shit, my son and them, they were over looking at me. They're like, you over there soaking, you mad. I was mad, but I didn't say nothing. I said, congrats. I gave her a hug, like good shit. But I was mad. When you ain't lost, when I've dominated, and then the game was tripping, I got to buy me some new mics. The mics was tripping. Those mics are old, so I got to buy me some new mics. But I want revenge. There must be revenge. But other than that, I didn't win. I won 2 songs. That was bad. I won Amber, and then I won this one song that nobody probably wouldn't know. But everything else that I got in there, but there was like they started trying to hit me with these female songs that I can't keep them pitches and stuff like that. Just hit me across the head. I love Lips. Lips is, man, I ask every time I bring up a story about Lips. Xbox, give us Lips back. Come on, man. Come on. Make it free to play. Do whatever, man. Come on. One of the best party games ever. God. Anyway, let me get back on topic. Something they didn't know, you had that Motorola Aurora, a 4.5K phone. Bro, it wasn't Motorola. And I guess it was the Aura. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I just knew that phone was sturdy. Man, I would drop it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in construction. I'm doing trash, and then right after I got out of trash, I got into construction. Bro, I dropped my phone so many times. Phone was sturdy, boy. That damn flip phone was right. When I need a flat face phone where I'm sitting here and I'm over here and I might forget and slide out of the truck or it falls into the truck. And you know what I'm saying? Like, but they talked me into it. So that was crazy. I did get pressured about that. That hurt my feelings. Like, man, come on, man, my flip phone. Let's see what she said. Sapo, my first Warframe experience was a big war in the global. There was a few people that really wanted to talk me into playing Warframe, and I liked it. I just didn't understand it back then because, like, I never really played MMOs. I played. Because I mean, the last time I played anything that was kind of that, and it wasn't even an MMO then. That was on Sega, so that was on the Sega Genesis. So, no, I never really played MMOs, so I kind of was confused about what was going on. But I seen the potential in it. I don't know. And like I said, there's so many games to play. I did try to play Black Desert, but I got lost in that too. And so I was like, ah, shit. Okay. Now, Nakara, I love Nakara, but by this time I knew how MMOs played. So, and I haven't gone back to Nakara in a long time. I need to go back and play that sometime. But yeah, and then Fantasy Star Online. I mean, yeah, I did play a lot of the Fantasy Star that's online. I played a lot of that. But then, of course, you start playing other stuff, and I haven't gone back in some years. But I do have a huge accumulation of those points, those cards. So I will unleash them at some point. I will get back to that and play it. So anyway, but okay, let me talk about these cards. Sorry. Okay, so Nintendo is acting to protect the industry with Switch 2 key cards, says XCOM Composer. All right, so what they're saying is that critics have said the key cards are anti-consumer, and Japan's National Library has since decreed that they cannot be considered eligible for preservation, which stands to reason, as the game key card contains no actual game data. Nintendo, what? What? Nintendo, what? Okay, if something trips me out, I'm gonna read it again so y'all can follow me on this one. All right, so hold on. And this is in Japan. Japan's people are saying this. So Japan's National Library has since decreed that they cannot be considered eligible for preservation, which stands to reason, as the game key card contains no actual game data. However, a Ubisoft staffer recently explained that one reason developers are choosing game key cards is access speed. More recently, composer of former Capcom developer, just say the Capcom developer, Retro Soul, sir. Great name. I'm not going to try to butcher it. Has weighed into the debate on Nintendo's side. He said, do physical items outside of digital products last forever? Most of the time they don't, right? Physical things always have a lifespan and will eventually break. Digital products, on the other hand, genuinely do not have a lifespan. Others have argued that digital items only last as long as they are available online. And what we've seen, many quite recent games removed from circulation by publishers, which shoots a hole into the composer's debate somewhat. However, he has a point. If the digital games were made available forever, then they would certainly outlast physical games, which can be subject to wear and tear. Okay. The composer also claims that Nintendo's game key cards are also a measure against illegal copying. Now we get into the nitty gritty. As the data cannot be extracted from the cartridge and distributed online, it can still be extracted from the storage of the console it is downloaded to, of course. It also reduces the risk of Nintendo and other publishers holding access and inventory and potentially losing a lot of revenue, as game key cards are far cheaper to manufacture. Here we go with the cheaper stuff. I feel that these moves are largely aimed at protecting the gaming industry and the digital industry, entertainment industry. He concluded, I may be a bit too optimistic of the view, but the fact is that because Nintendo takes the lead, other companies can more easily follow suit to protecting themselves. Greed is often cited as one of the main reasons for the game key card initiative. But the composer disagrees on this point. Do you think a company that's already made that much profit would do this just to make even more money? Who are we talking about here? Who is this man talking about? Man, is he getting money under the table from Nintendo? Who is this man talking about? We talking about Nintendo. Let me read what he just said again. Do you think a company that's already made that much profit would do this just to make more money? Even if they stop selling anything right now, they have access cash revenues, reserves to support all their current employees until retirement. It's so incredible, it's almost ridiculous. That oh, okay, can I say something here? Let me interrupt that for a second, please. Microsoft makes more money than Nintendo, has way more money than Nintendo. Everybody that works at Microsoft could work until retirement and get a good, healthy, wonderful pension. What did Microsoft do? What did Microsoft do? Sorry, AI. AI is around the corner, guys. The administration is over here wanting to push, one of us tech companies to push AI. We want to push AI too. Sorry for you. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, so my thoughts is that, I'm saying, this is how you should actually release a game, right? I'm saying, you have physical with the full game on. I'm going to read this part right here because I agree with this. And it says here how you actually release a game. Have physical with full game on card and give it the option to also download it. That's perfect. From Pikmin, Mario, Kirby. That's well said, Pikmin, Mario, Kirby. There you go. You killed 10 birds with one stone. You just go ahead and you put that on there and give the option. But what you're telling us is that this has no data on it. And here we go again with this whole point of trying to sit here and try to gaslight us to thinking, well, Nintendo has so much money, they take care of their employees, and they might take care of the they do. Not too many people leave Nintendo, or you hear about layoffs or anything of that nature. I'm sure that there has been layoffs and things like that, but you don't hear a lot about that going on in Nintendo. They seem to take care of their employees. But let's just keep this in perspective, though. Nintendo hustles the hell out of their customers. They may take care of their employees, but they hustle their customers. And you mean to tell me that they're not going to try to find a fine way to sit there and to get a little bit more of extra money from you? So again, they're already charging you extra for cartridge games. So how about this? We'll make you have to, if you want, so now, hold on. And I'm speculating here. I'm not trying to say that this is going to happen, but I'm speculating. So if you want this digital game, it's going to be $80. Hold on. I thought games were 70, but hold on. Here's this key card. And you got to have it because it's beneficial for you and your gaming library, because this also ensures the Nintendo is not ever going to cut these games off. It's always going to be to your convenience. It's always going to be there. Listen, I am not going to believe that, but there would be people that would. They're the same company that's charging gamers what, $90 for hard copies. uh Rangy 4, the Rams play Sunday night. They're going against the Eagles. We 2-0, baby. We 2-0. We ready to see them birds again. We want rotisserie eagle. That's what we want. Rotisserie eagle. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Jalen Hurts. Boomer Sooner. You know how I am. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Sooner born, sooner bred. But you're going against my Rams, buddy. And my Rams is ready. Nah, we ready. We ready to see that again. Now, again, the Eagles, the Eagles are the Eagles. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I just think, honestly, the Chiefs, they don't look good this season. They don't look good at all. Rice got hurt, and I think that just busted up all the offense. Kelsey's old. Kelsey, it's about time. This should be Kelsey's last year. Kansas City defense is still good, but yeah, Mahomes don't have enough weapons, man. They don't have a running game. They're fried toast right now. Yes, and I mean, listen, and I wasn't really a believer of them Chargers. Now again, I mean, they went against the Raiders last night, but they busted the Raiders' ass, and they beat them convincingly. And bro, nah. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, it could be the Chargers year. I don't know. It's just the beginning of the season, but we'll see. I'm not saying the Chiefs is not going to have a chance to get to the playoffs and not going to turn their back around, but man, they 0-2, and they looked a bad 0-2. So, but yeah, so the Eagles played Dallas. Dallas's offense is elite. Their defense is suspect. So the Eagles struggled against them a little bit. Now it's game one. And then they went against the Chiefs and they beat them. I mean, it wasn't just a whooping, but that's just thinking how bad the Chiefs is. And so I don't know. This is gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a good game. I can't sit there and say my Rams has got this locked up, but I'm feeling pretty confident going in Sunday night. Rams Eagles, baby. Let's go. Ram Nation, stand up. Let's go. I'm looking to hope to try to have a trifecta season. Either, okay, we already got the championship. My Thunder already won it. They already set the bar, right? They set the bar. So then it's either my Padres has got to make it happen. They just got to get past them damn Dodgers. That's it. They get past the Dodgers, they can beat anybody. That's it. They just got to beat the Dodgers. I know that's not a small feat, but that's it. Just got to beat the Dodgers, and I think that we can get that World Series. But if my Padres don't do it, then I got my Rams. My Rams can make some noise. They beat the Eagles. They're gonna be the talk of the town. They're gonna be the talk. We just got to keep Stafford healthy. We got to stay right. I know we lost one of our cornerbacks and all that, but keep Stafford right. We added another weapon in the running game. Ooh, Corum looked good, boy. Corum looked real good. I liked it. So they finally starting to connect with Devontae. Puka's a man, boy. Puka's insanely good. Anyway, and if that don't, you know what I'm saying? And so if my Rams, I'm counting on the Rams. I don't know if my Padres can do. My Padres is strong, but man, it's the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. I hate them. I don't hate them as much as I hate the Lakers or I hate the 49ers. Oh, I hate the 49ers. Or the Texas or the University of Texas. Yeah. But I got maybe potential silver lining here. They're not going to win a championship. I would lose my mind. But my Sooners are making some noise. My OU Sooners is making some noise, Jack. We just need to get in them playoffs. And then we can have fun. So you know what I'm saying? But my Thunder set the tone. Let's go. I need, you know what I'm saying? I want the trifecta. I want my score. I want either the Padres, Rams to win. So I have my trifecta, or my Sooners, Padres to win, or my Padres, Rams, Sooners. Let's do it. Let's go for the clean sweep. But gotta be in the world of reality. We'll see. I don't expect my Sooners to do any. My Sooners will probably get cooked by Ohio State. Um, but we get to Texas. I'm salivating for them Longhorns. Oh, I'm salivating. Man, they don't look all that hot. And boy, and our defense is stout. Ooh. But man, that goddamn SEC is a problem, man. That Georgia Tennessee game was so incredibly good. And then LSU, I mean, sorry, Husky. I feel bad about your Gators. I had good hopes for your Gators. Your Gators is cooked. Boy, that coach is gone. Damn. Oh, they look bad. Anyway, all right, enough of sports. I'm sorry. Just talking about games. You said go Falcons. Hey, only thing I want from your Falcons is to keep losing so we can take that first round pick and go ahead and get us our backup quarterback, sucker. Keep losing. Go. So yeah, you're right. Go Falcons. Go get them L's, Falcons. You got lucky and you won that game, but you keep on losing. You keep on losing. We need that pick. We need that pick, sucker. We need that pick. He said, go Georgia Bulldogs. I can't say nothing bad about them Georgia Bulldogs. They look tough. That running game, they tired them boys out. They tired Tennessee out. And I'll talk real high about Tennessee. Tennessee look good. I hope the Rams win the Super Bowl. Shit, I want another ring. Hell, you know what? I said I can make it another 10 years now since my Rams won it back a couple of years ago, but now I want another one. I want Stafford to go out with definitely first round ballot Hall of Famer. He won the Super Bowl. He's a first round ballot Hall of Famer. Our destination, you know what I'm saying, free agency will be incredible because we just won and there's going to be replayed. There's going to be people who want to come out there and play for my Rams. Yeah, hell yeah. I want that ring. Anyway, so, all right, back to gaming. So then we can get on out of here. All right, so what time is it? Oh damn, it's almost 5 o'clock. All right, so let's go ahead and get on out of here. I got one more topic, and I won't stay on too long about it. I just want to talk about it because it happens. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and they had opinions about it, and so I got my opinion. Okay, so let me click on it. So Sony fires Ghost of Yotai. Or Yortai, however you pronounce it, artist after posting joking about Charlie Kirk's killing. Okay, or losing his life, whatever. All right, so how do I feel about that? I just want to take you back for a hot second of when during the George Floyd situation, there was a cancel culture that the right would always talk about and say that it's not right for anyone to lose their job or to be harassed about if anybody had some objective opinions about George Floyd, because I've seen plenty of them. We've all seen them. But if you cared about George Floyd's passing, or if you didn't, or if you did, right? But we all seen people say a lot of stuff. There's people that still do it. Like they'll do birthdays and say that, he's going to, he is another day that he's clean because he don't have fentanyl. I've seen, I'm a person, like, me, I talk about, I don't love what the climate is in politics, but I enjoy taking politics in on all sides, left, right, liberal, MAGA, all that. I listen, I read, I study. I don't run away from it. And that's why and I'm one of these people that I'm not caring about your affiliation of which side you are. I'm here for the discussion, but I am not going to shut my mouth to make you comfortable, because I don't ever have that luxury of feeling comfortable. So anyway, that's why that's why I'll talk about it. I don't run from it. I hate that there's some content creators that run from it because they want to try to play both sides or try to cater to everybody. Listen, if you're a racist, don't ever fuck with my channel. Don't fuck with me. I don't want to deal with you. I don't like you. I ain't dealing with no racist. I don't want you around me. You're subhuman. You're lesser than life. I don't care about you. So know that. So if you're a racist, unfollow me, get on, and be done. But I'm not going to hold my tongue on what I have to say. I never have. I never will. That's why a lot of people don't like me because I'm very objective and I say what I have to say and I don't care about feelings. People can say the same thing to me. I take it for what it is. I like to smoke. And I don't mean it in a hateful way. I just mean it in a way of just like, look, it's a discussion. Let's talk. So anyway, with all that being said, I agreed with a lot of people on the right when it came to the council culture stuff on that end. I don't agree with a lot of people on the right about a lot of things, but I agree with them on that. Like, people shouldn't lose their job because they want to be an asshole. Now, it's different if you're somebody of a certain stand, like let's say a business owner or a teacher, something like that, right? So, but I feel that if you got that much hatred in your heart, then maybe you shouldn't teach, maybe you shouldn't. But regardless, what we have been taught and what we have learned, that the First Amendment is the most important amendment, right? It's one of the most important amendments. Freedom of speech. You say what you say. You know, this is what is about to be American. And as much as we see people coming out with the most vile, nasty, crazy stuff. I mean, this is what's going back to the very first topic that I was talking about with Randy Pitchfork. I can just imagine what Pitchfork for what some of the nasty stuff that he got, which I don't condone that type of stuff. Just tell the man that he needs to work on the game and stop being an asshole about it. That's it. That's it. But we know that there's people out there that hides behind the internet and says the most vile, disgusting things. And the right was basically saying, look, we shouldn't, if people got something to say, you shouldn't cancel them for it. And I agree. Now we're looking at this whole thing with Charlie Kirk, and they're trying to make him a martyr. I see all this crazy stuff where they got him sitting there up in heaven with Martin Luther King or with Malcolm X. And I'm like, bro, they wilding. Charlie Kirk is a racist. Bro, I said what I said when I first saw my thoughts. Yeah, as you seen, it was live when my homeboy called me and told me that he got shot. And I'm like, whoa, when you saw my reaction to it. And the first thing that I said is like, no, I don't wish that man to be dead or to be unalive. That's not cool. I don't want no harm to anybody. But I'm not having no sympathy. The man never had sympathy for me. Do I feel bad for his kids? I do. Do I feel bad for his wife? No, I don't. You know why? It's because she was complicit. And, and when you say, well, how's she complicit? Because she could have easily said, look, the climate in this country is so out of whack right now. Maybe you need to back off on this for a little bit because it's really, 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 I'm really nervous for you. No, matter of fact, she got up and posted something and saying, you don't know what's coming. So she's part of the grift too. And so therefore I'm looking at it like, oh, listen, it's horrible. And I've seen some people I seen a news anchor guy got fired for saying that hate brings hateful actions. He's telling the truth. If you're walking around spewing hate, spewing bad stuff, it does bring, it's just like what my grandmother used to say and my great aunties. God don't like ugly. And you can't sit here and talk about black women, talk about transgender, gay people, Native Americans, all these other groups that aren't white, and sit there and talk and lower rate them, and then expect to be looked at and praised by other communities. It's just not like that. It's vice versa with Dr. Humor and all that other stuff. And now he's exposed for over here grifting. He was supposed to build a school and all that other shit. Like, I don't like anybody fake. I don't like anybody being, and I'm not, and when I'm saying fake, I don't like anybody that's over here pushing racism for profit. It's not good on any side. So what this person said at Sony, person worked there for over a decade. And I don't know if they're transgender or if they're what, I don't know. I don't know. I seen pictures. It looked like it was a woman. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't care. But what she's talking about is talking about fascism and things like that. And hey, I stand on your business. Say what you got to say. This is what it's a free country, right? We're supposed to be able to say what we want to say, right? And so, but Sony fired her, and so listen. What I don't like and what I won't agree with is that when people are trying to gleefully trying to make jokes about the man's passing, I don't like that. That I'm not going to do that. What we should be talking about is gun control and stuff like that, like I was bringing up the other day. Oh, well, last week. Sekiro, what's that? Sekiro said. He says, he said, they'll be met. He says, if they come to my door, they will be met. And now I'm just gonna leave it at that. But anyway, I, I don't want anybody getting fired for their opinions, because what you're trying to do is trying to regulate people's. Because I want to know if you're a racist. Let me know. Cool. I ain't got to deal with you. I'm quick on cutting people off. I'm quick on saying, throwing up the deuce and saying I'm out. Like, okay, cool, whatever. So I like when they come out there and they tell you the truth. And so that's how it's supposed to be with these other people. But then yet they were the ones that's talking about cancel culture, and they're the ones now wanting to do cancel culture. And I mean, what I'm not understanding, and I said this too last week, was that how is it that this was a white on white crime, but then black colleges is over here getting harassed with death threats? Then I'm seeing that there was a young black kid getting hung on a tree. What? This is a white on white crime. And this is something, hold up. In Utah, white ass Utah, in a predominantly white college, in a Mormon state, the kid that did the deed, or the injustice, or the bad deed, I should say, not the deeds. When somebody take it as like, oh, the bad deed, came from a highly conservative family. He's a gamer that follows a hard right ideology, what called groupers, some shit like that. And they think that Charlie Kirk wasn't right enough, like he wasn't right wing enough. So what does this got to do with trans people or anything else? Listen, this was tripping me out, right? So the kid, the people, the roommate or whatever, where the right is trying to make stories and say that they were lovers and all this other weird stuff, and that this person was in transitioning because he's wearing furry stuff or whatever. Okay, so there's a video of him out there, and he has his little furry hat on and stuff. And when bro talking, see, listen, goes back to like, well, PMS Jordan, all the rest, who's went through transitions and all that other stuff. They work on their voice first. They want to sound more feminine. Bro sounded like a full ass man. Yo, I'm looking at these and look at these cookies. Yo, I'm like, nah, bro. He's just a furry lover. He just likes to wear them suits and shit. He ain't. Nah, that's different. Now, if he's gay, whatever, he might be that, but he ain't no transgender, because he ain't come out here being feminine, being none of that. He's a dude, right? Now he might like dudes, but he's a dude. And so that's the shit to me, is where we're talking about all this crazy climbing, and this person is over here getting ridiculed. I seen all this garbage from people trying to say, you don't need. Shut up, all the hell of you, all the rest of you that sit there talking about that type of stuff is not talked about in gaming when it's talked about every goddamn day. I look at it and I see it every day, from the sexism to the homophobia to the racism. And you got the nerve to come out and say that this type of stuff should not be talked in gaming. This is not right. People aren't entitled to your opinion. Like I said, and I mean every goddamn word I mean by what I say about this. You do not have to like me and you do not have to listen to me. But damn it, I am not shutting my mouth for your convenience. I'm not. And you're not going to sit here and have me tell me that I can't post. I don't care how Twitter sits there and do that little ban shit to where a lot of people can't see my post. I don't care about that. I'm still going to say what I got to say. I don't say anything out of pocket to make, you know what I'm saying? I may make people feel uncomfortable, but I don't say anything out of pocket to where I want to see people harmed. I'm just telling the truth. And so this type of situation is where if somebody says, I don't have sympathy for a person who did not have sympathy for me, that is not being hateful. That's being factual. Now, some of the things that I seen that the person posted, it was some of that stuff was out of bad taste. You don't celebrate, I feel like you don't ever celebrate a person's death. You know what I'm saying? I was raised on you respect the dead, but you don't lie for the dead. You know, if you know what I'm saying? Like JD Vance up here talking about this man never talked bad about black women. What the hell are you talking about? Man, I'm black and Native American. You sit there and talked about my mama, my aunts, my cousins, my goddamn, my grandparents, my kids. And you, low IQ. What? Talk bad about like, you, and you expect me to sit here and be like, man, you know, I'm just going to be like, man, yeah, we shouldn't say anything. We shouldn't have an emotion about any of this because we're gamers. When there's gamers that shows their emotion every day about something. And how are we supposed to get past hate, division, or anything if we don't discuss it or if we don't address it? See, I won't go fully into this on GRG, so that's why I'm doing it now. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of just not to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So this is all on me. So if anybody got a problem with me, you can DM me. If you got my number, you can call me. But I'll be damned if I sit here and I act. If I feel that you can't talk about cancel culture on one end and then do the cancel culture yourself on the other. It's a big ass contradiction. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Should the woman be reprimanded? Sure. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Take her off, take those people that was saying really harsh shit. Not something that made people feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Make them sit down for 3 to 5 days without pay or something like that. Whatever. Make them think about it for a minute and like, all right. Or make them write an apology or something. And if a person don't want to do an apology, then you go by those steps. Whatever. Because some people are really adamant about how they feel, and that's fine. Because that's what America is supposed to be, is where we say how we feel regardless of the consequence. Okay, so Gropers follow Nick Fuentes. Okay. Okay, that makes sense because, yeah, Kirk and him have beef. Right. Okay, connect the dots. I got you. Okay. All right, right. And he said Kirk used to, okay, all right, I got you. Okay. There's a disconnect regarding men who like men, but a lot of it's very old too, as it was traditionally perceived as those men being more feminine, which isn't always true. This is the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? This is, so, okay, thank you. He says, you should have seen my emotions last night playing Borderlands 4. I had to go outside. What happened on Borderlands 4? Stecaro. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that kid. Yeah, that kid that shot Kurt, yeah, he dressed like I said, highly conservative family. Like this is the shit. Like I mean, the ridiculousness of where people come out and they started automatically blaming left wing people and Democrats and all and trans. Why is everything? They're weird. There's some sick motherfuckers. Let's just keep it a buck. Why everything got to be about some gay shit? How about you show us the Epstein files? That's what you do. Y'all always on some weird, them folk over there be always on some gay shit, some other, like, man, I ain't worried about all that. Let them people live how they want to live. If they ain't causing no crimes, they ain't do. How about we talk about guns? How about we talk about them Epstein lists? How about we sit there and ask questions of why the woman that was with Epstein is gone to a less security jail? Why is she communicating with our government? Why are they blocking? Why are people? Why is a certain group blocking access for the information? That's what we should be talking about. See, again, yeah, that's the follow the dots. They always like that whole crazy old conspiracy theory shit that they got into about Hillary Clinton and them supposed to be going into, having a pizza party, a pizza parlor, and they would take children and all this weird, disgusting, crazy stuff that never came out to be true. But yet you got information about a real person that was an absolute animal that has all this information and all these people available. And yet that is not important because it doesn't align with your politics. So obviously, or your religious beliefs. Come on now. You can't be talking about you godly. You can't be talking about you this way and you that way if you do not want to follow what the scripture says. Because there's a lot of those people over there that don't follow that they'll talk about God. They'll even hold the Bible in their hand, but don't even follow the scripture. The word of the scripture says, love thy immigrant. That's in the early part of the Bible. Hell, you ain't got to read that deep to get to that part. You ain't got to read that deep. Love thy immigrant. Love thy neighbor. Jesus was an immigrant. Bro, anyway, I'm not going too far into the weeds. All I'm saying is this, though. I am upset about the person. I'm upset about the culture wars on all sides. I feel that, listen, in certain cases where somebody's being very disrespectful, going after, being racist to children, trying to attack. Like there was one where this one guy sit there and called a group of black women a bunch of names and spit on one, tried to hit one, something like that. Yeah, now lose your job. Now you're trying to be violent, you're getting really disrespectful. You go on walking around saying some racist shit. Yeah, well, if somebody don't crack you across the goddamn head for being stupid, okay, you just got away with it. You know what I'm saying? Karma will catch up with you later, one way or another, because that's just what it is. If you're a hateful person and that's what type of shit that you have in your heart, it will catch up with you. Real talk. I was raised to love everybody, even in a time when my grandparents that lived through Jim Crow, and my aunties, and my mom lived through the civil rights movement. And for just me, because I've been born in the 70s, I've dealt with all types of racism, and I'm light-skinned and a motherfucker. It is what it is. But it ain't 1965. It damn sure ain't 1935. I ain't running from you. I ain't scared of it. And I be damned if I sit here and I come in my household, in my house, where a man sit there and talked about my family with that much up respect that I'm going to have sympathy. I don't. What I will do is sit there and I will pray that he had a peaceful journey. That's it. Because I don't condone people getting murked in any fashion. That's it. And so if a person sits there but I don't want to hear this from content creators talking about that people should not talk about devs or other people can't talk about what they feel. If somebody made them feel negative, I mean, we hear it all the time when people are upset about there's not enough big titties and ass in games. We hear that. When we don't, there's too many people of color in games. Oh my God, where is the, you know what I'm saying, games this? Like, I'm all for hearing about when I'm talking about, like, we need game developers to do better with the customers on how, because they want more money and stuff like that. I'm all in unison for that. But I don't need every game to sit there and have a chick with big bust and being walking around and acting goofy and dingy. I like a strong, independent woman that may have a flat ass and a flat chest. I don't care. Or she's a big body girl. So what? If she's a badass, she got a good story written, and the gameplay is fire. That's all I care about. If you want to make a game with women that look like on the first Descendant, by all means, I'll play it. I like looking at it, but I like all types of things. So, but we're not going to be here to sit here and to tell gamers or developers or anyone this is not the place to do it. When every goddamn day, while we're on this damn app, while we're on Twitter or social media, I mean Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, anywhere where we will have to see and read and look at somebody over here saying what they feel, and it could be the most heinous, disrespectful shit. From a gamer's perspective, from a podcaster's perspective, from a political person perspective, from just a random Joe that's out there that just wants to spew hate. We have to deal with it. I have to sit here and deal with people that'll call me a monkey or call me the N-word or call me something else. Okay, cool, whatever. You know how I'll take care of that? I'm going to sit there and I'm going to jump on my white wife and I'm going to make her pay for it. Pants off, dance off. Every time. Let me tell you something, man. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? We should be better, and we should learn how to communicate and have these deep discussions without feeling, and I mean, it can be uncomfortable, but what we should do is try to get past this, because at the end of the day, this country is very diverse. This world is very diverse, and nobody should ever feel like they're better than anybody. Once we get past that bullshit, then we can move on from the whole thing of where people, where one class of people, money status wise, would stop looking down on the people that's lower than them, that help them get to that point. Then we can work on that, but we got to work on ourselves. I don't understand this. Why? I don't understand how some poor motherfucker somewhere in a shack somewhere can sit there and drive past me and be mad because I busted my ass to be living in a better position than them. Then think that it's DEI or something. No, motherfucker, there was no DEI in the places that I worked. I wish there was. Now, civil rights helped me to get that job. Thank God for that. But I had to bust my ass. I didn't get no, I seen everybody going past me getting promotions until all of a sudden, the people that got promotions, they quit because they couldn't handle it. I'm still there. And then I finally get my promotions. So when somebody comes out and tells you something about black people are lazy and shit like that, I wish a motherfucker would. As hard as I work, the shit I do, you crazy. It's stupid for saying that dumbass racist rhetoric and thinking that somebody is that we really give a fuck like that to your feelings, to you sit there that may not even be around black people. You might see some shit on TV or somewhere on your Fox News or Newsmax or some bullshit ass podcaster that sits there and says the same shit over and over again and you believe it. Come on now. Stop. So anyway, had my rant. I wasn't going to do that on GRG. That's what it is. So let me see. It's ultimately a bit of a selfish problem as I see it, as those who want characters to look one way only want them to look like that, right, rather than to allow for diversity to fit the setting story. Absolutely. That's the point. Like I said, trust me. If the developers wanted to make all games that look like DOA women, cool, whatever. Will I start having a problem with it? Absolutely, because then what you're doing is you're setting up something not realistic or not or don't associate with all the people who play games. Not everybody looks the same. And I would, and even though I sit here and I tell people all the time, I want more diverse characters in games. I want more people of color in the games. I would never sit here and even though we're starting to see that more and more, I would never want to see it all just be people of color and not have a white person in there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's defeating the purpose. I want diversity, all of us. I want all different types of, you know what I'm saying, different games about religion and just, ideology, everything. I just want it. I just want all different types of games. And maybe some of those games are not going to fit what I like, and that's fine. That's the whole point. But it does mean something to people when there are games that are made for just that group of people. Even if they're games that may be really controversial. Okay. But that's the whole part of what freedom is about. Right? It's not freedom to sit there and tell people that they can't say what they feel. If people are upset about something, then we need to ask the question, why are you so angry? What makes you so mad about that individual or those individuals or that group of people or that demographic or that religion? Why? And we would hope that those people would be honest enough to say and explain themselves. And if they're not correct, and if they're lying, or if they just heard the wrong information, then that is us as people to help those people, guide them in the right direction and say, that's a lie. This is what this is. And to make us become more together, like we're supposed to. But anyway, that's my preaching for today. I will be back tomorrow because there's some more stuff that I want to talk about. So, yes, you'll hit me up. Yes, second row, I apologize. I know it may seem like I've been ducking you for some fighting. I will get to streaming here pretty soon. Definitely Thursday. We'll be getting to it. I will be doing fight night. So I will. That's a promise. I thought I would be doing it Sunday. I had company over, so I couldn't do it. I did play Lips, though. It was fun. So anyway. All right, guys, let me read some of these comments and we'll get out of here. Have to say, Borderlands 4 is my game of the year. It's amazing. No issues on Xbox. Team Randy, his team made a phenomenal game, pushing gaming and just frustrated hive mind, hate grift are coming for it. I'm not going to dispute the fact about the game being your game of the year and being amazing, because what I played, it's fun, right? But I don't like how Randy Pitchford is acting towards the people that he wants to buy his game or have bought his game. That type of rhetoric is not necessary, and I don't think that it's fair to jump on people because they're upset that a game is not performing well. So, but no, if you know what I'm saying, I don't think it's a full hive mind. I think it's some people out there that just want to follow a grift, because there is a hate grift, and it doesn't matter what it is. You could tell somebody, hey, look, I love children. No, you don't. I hate children. There'll be somebody that would say that just to start a grift and want to have engagement with you to get maybe a couple of weird follows, but it is a hate grift out there. But I don't think that the majority of people that are upset about how Borderlands 4 is performing on PC is all about the hate grift. So anyway, the woke right is way more obnoxious and better at canceling people than the woke left ever was, and now they control all government. Buckle up, everyone. No, you're right. You're right. The one thing that I can say about the right, they know how to message their ass off. I thought that was the most stupid commercial, and I'm sitting here like, what idiot is sitting here thinking a group of people that are less than 1% of the nation of America and is what, 3% of the world, when talk about trans people, are taking over our schools, our homes, our livelihoods, our education, like, when I was watching those commercials during football, I was like, that's a good strategy, but I'm like, I know people ain't that crazy to believe that shit like that. I was wrong. but the rights always have. But see, again, it when you're trying to be genuine and trying to keep, and that's the one thing that the Democrats have to figure out is to find the right level of how to talk to people. Because listen, if that's one thing that Trump knows how to do, even though it sounds incoherent as hell. And to me, when people talking about Biden and how he sounded, which Biden did sound old as hell, Trump sounds just as bad now. And so anyway, the fact of it, but he knows how to talk to people on a level that, and the Democrats is, like that's why you love the Jasmine Crockett's, that's why you love the Beto O'Rourke's and the AOCs and things like that. That's why they hate them is because, or dislike them is because they know how to talk and tap into the public. Bernie Sanders and others, even though I don't really follow Bernie like that, I'm more of a middle mainstream guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that here lately, mostly everything from the right has been absolutely atrocious, and that's why this country is in a bad place that it's at. But but fiscal responsibility and stuff like that, I'm all for what the old Republican Party used to talk about. Not all things. I'll never will be a Republican. But the messaging on certain things I took in and accepted and said that I agree with some of those things. But I always have followed what the Democratic Party is trying to do for the sense of the betterment for society. And then for what I respect on the left is that they want to take out the corruption from corporations and the big money grift that they get, because there's a lot of these politicians that are bought off, and anybody that pays attention to it knows it and sees it. So yeah, but Republicans always were really good with messaging over Democrats. I mean, I would say the last person, which goddamn, it's been 15 years ago, was Obama, who really knew how to talk to the public. And before that, it was Clinton. Some of these top Democrats now that they don't have the juice. They don't have the juice, and so there needs to be a new group out there of young, vibrant Democrats. There's a lot of them out there, but their voices get shut down because these old heads think that they know what they're doing. Listen, I have the utmost respect for Nancy Pelosi in the sense of her accomplishments, but she's too old to be trying to tell. Yeah, I mean, listen, I listen to my kids. I listen to when my daughter's friends come through and all the shit that they talk about. Like that, Nancy Pelosi don't hear that. Chuck Schumer don't hear that. Hakeem Jeffries don't hear that. Jasmine Crockett hears that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the shit that right there is that there needs to be a new set of guard in the Democratic Party, and it needs to be younger. And that's how the right is at the place that they're at, because they got those bro podcasts with them, and then they got Fox News for the old white folk. then they got these young people like Fuentes, and then they got Kurt, and others that are young and that's in a space that can talk to young people and give their situation and talk that. So listen, like I say, I listen to all this shit. That's saying I could talk politics all day long, just like I talk about gaming, just like I talk about sports. I'm a hybrid. I don't like the politics the way it's set, because it's a lot of divisiveness, and it is ridiculous, because there's people that's just lying right to our face, like J.D. Vance did about Charlie Kirk, saying that he didn't say anything negative about black people when it's right there where he did, where he has, and where he continued to, where he has. I mean, it's all over the place. So that's just the bottom line of it. I just think that we need to be better as a people. We have to go back to having, the Supreme Court is cooked. Yeah. If we can get past this hateful moment in our time and move on and get to a point to where history can be told, the Supreme Court, McConnell, are going to be the most vilified people in when it comes to history. Because what they did is set up to hurt young people and try to turn shit into maybe some Handmaid's Tale shit and this new Christian racist Billy Graham trying to garbage, where they're trying to force people it's no different than when they used to talk about Sharia law and all that stuff. They're trying to do the same thing with Christianity, and that's not the Christian way. It's just no different than what Muslims would tell you of what these are radicals that's trying to take a religion of peace and make it into something else. So again, it's dangerous, and we just got to do better as a people. I agree, Sekiro King. Pelosi needs to stop popping her old ass on TV. Let her relax. You're retired, and stop trying to come out here and say something. You step down. Keep it pushing. Let's let the young Democrats get out here and start doing something now. Y'all's time is up. We appreciate it. Y'all did a lot of great work. Now it's time for the young generation. It's different, way different now. Okay, 70% of weirdos I work with are obsessed with these kids playing against trans kids or trying and explain to them a betting chance of being struck by lightning 3 times. Yeah, Shane G, you're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying. It's the biggest population of trans people in the United States. It's not even on this continent. It's in Hawaii. Look it up. Look it up. And the trans community in this country is less than 1%, not 1%, less than 1%. So I don't know what kind of takeover is supposed to happen here, but I don't know, man. Last point, and I got to get out of here. I can never wake up in the morning and the first couple of things I think about before I get my coffee or before I sit here and get my bottle of water and sit here and think, who am I going to hate today? Damn, I want that group of people to suffer. Damn, why? Man, I just wake up with hate. What? I could never. I'm like, who are these people that wake up and the first thing they're doing, they're amped up and mad and just, it's them, they gotta suffer. I can't stand. What are you talking about? Bro, if you ain't got ass at home, go buy some. What are you doing? Where are we? That's what I'm saying. I can never wake up to have hate for anybody. I could have a dislike on somebody's actions or what somebody says, but just to hate them, even for the things I disagree with people, I don't hate them. Like I said, now you never heard me say I hate racists. I dislike racists. I can't stand them fuckers. But I don't want any of them to get popped. I just want them to go away. Go back under your rock. Hang with your little coalition of racists and just get the fuck out of my way and let the country grow and heal and be good. If you want to make your little society, go ahead and do that. Who cares? Shoo. Go away. But just to wake up with hate for a race of people or for a group of people, for a religious group, for hell, I sit here and I do content and I don't sit there and wake up and hate PlayStation motherfuckers or Nintendo people. I'm here to talk about shit, but I'm here to game. Hell, I can't say, what would that look like me sitting there saying that I hate I hate the PlayStation community, but then yet I'm playing Helldivers with PlayStation gamers, or I'm playing 2K with PlayStation gamers, or like the hypocrisy in this is just bananas. So anyway, learn to love one another, people. Let's get back to it. Yes, Big Bad Mo, the gameplay is Lost Odyssey. Yes. I was lazy and I didn't feel like doing any gameplay. I'm going to have gameplay ready for GRG Friday night. So thank you guys. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Everybody be good. I will see you guys tomorrow and I will be streaming. So if I don't have my thoughts tomorrow, I will definitely be streaming. Like I said, I'm going to make me some Frosted Flakes and I'm going to go ahead and start playing some 2K. Let's go. All right. Have a blessed one. Peace.